Welcome to Stony Finance Lab channel.
Hi, this is Jade, and today we are going to discuss some financial advice that a few graduating peers and I have for incoming freshman students. The plan we have detailed in this presentation is targeted to recent high school graduates and those entering their first year of college. This is the first time that many of you will have serious financial responsibilities without immediate repercussions, so it's crucial to begin taking the right steps to learning financial literacy now. In developing our strategy, we chose to focus on the big topics that need to be understood. These topics serve as the foundation of financial literacy and allow for all other financial habits and expenditures to be more easily attained. And now to introduce these goals, we will be discussing the introductory aspects and key steps of building a savings account, getting credit started, starting a diversified investment portfolio, starting a retirement account, and tackling student loans.
So we're going to start off with our first investment goal, building a savings account. In simple terms, savings equal earnings minus expenses. So the first goal one should have while planning to save is minimizing expenses related to earnings. The general 50-30-20 rule gives a rough allocation of the funds we have. It suggests that 50% of your earnings should be allocated towards your needs, 30% to your wants or desires, and the rest 20% should go towards your savings. We will now briefly talk about the different tax-free saving accounts that could be used to save up for college or higher education. 529 accounts and Coverdell accounts are similar in function. Both accounts grow tax-free and the funds are expected to be used for the child's higher education. The only difference is the annual contribution limit. A custodial account is where a parent can grow their money at a child's tax rate, which is significantly less than an adult's tax rate. The control of this account can then be transferred to the child when they turn 18 or 21, and they can withdraw funds for reasons including but not limited to education expenses. Prepaid tuition plans are applicable for certain state universities only, but in this case, parents can pay tuition for their young child's higher education at today's rate. Savings bonds are issued by the US Department of Treasury. They grow tax-free only if they are strictly used for education expenses. However, these bonds are long-term and could take up to 20 years to mature. All of the previous accounts and plans are useful if you're watching this video as a middle or high schooler. However, if you're already graduated high school, your best bet is to start saving money in traditional savings accounts in a local bank. These accounts generally have low interest rates, but if you regularly save a portion of your earnings, you will notice the power of compounding. Our next goal is to start a credit. Getting a credit card or being an authorized user on a credit card is one of the easiest ways to get your credit started. Additionally, loans like student loans and car loans can also start a credit score. If you have recently moved to the United States, your credit history from another country can be used to get a credit card here. In some situations, alternative data like your house rent or cell phone bill can also be used to get your credit started. Once you have a credit score, the next step is to build it by paying your bills on time, using your credit card sparingly, and having a variety of accounts to store your funds in. The next investment goal we'll discuss is starting a diversified investment portfolio. Your portfolio is the collection of investments you personally hold. 4 of the most common investments are stocks, bonds, commodities, and cash. These different types of assets have different risks. For instance, if you hold cash, the value remains unchanged, and if inflation occurs, you may incur losses because your cash has less purchasing power. On the other hand, investing in stocks can generate high returns, but stocks are volatile and can be risky. Due to the risky nature of certain assets, it's safer to have a diversified portfolio. There are many do's and don'ts to investing successfully. You have to invest in multiple asset classes to not lose your money on one investment. Choose assets that will react differently in different market environments to reduce unsystematic risk. As you can see in the graph, portfolio risk tends to decrease as the number of stocks increases until a certain point. At that point, adding additional assets is not beneficial because they do not lower your risk, and you have to spend even more time keeping track of them. Here we can see that over-diversifying may be a mistake that young investors make. Remember to avoid purchasing as many assets as possible and instead invest in different industries and different sized companies. You want less correlation between two assets because if they have a negative correlation, they likely react differently in the market cycle. Using the link below allows you to see the rolling correlations between two different assets. To help you understand better about how you can optimize your portfolio diversification, we are going to show you an example using Microsoft Excel. What you see here is monthly stock return data for the years 2015 to 2020 for 22 different companies. This data was extracted from the Words database. This is the monthly variance covariance table that we calculated from the returns data. We initialized the weights to be 1%. This column represents the mean expected monthly returns, and this is the mean volatility. We don't want to allocate more than 50% of our funds to any one company stock, hence this will be used as a constraint. The last company just shows whether or not the stock was included in our final portfolio. Since the weights were initialized to be 1%, currently all the stocks show 1 as an indicator. This was the total number of stocks included in our portfolio. For this case, we wanted to include at least 7 different stocks. This volatility was calculated using the determined weights and the variance covariance table. This is the weighted mean return of the portfolio, and this is the sum of all the weights, which should be equated to 100%. The Sharpe ratio was calculated by dividing the expected return by the expected volatility. Now we used Excel's solver function to maximize the Sharpe ratio by changing the weights. We also added the required constraints. After running the program, we can see that Excel gave us an optimal solution where the Sharpe ratio is maximized and the desired constraints are also followed. You can repeat this procedure with whichever company stocks you want and also add additional constraints if you wish.
Another investment vehicle that beginners to investing should know about is the Roth IRA. A Roth IRA is an individual retirement account which allows you to contribute post-tax income that will grow at a tax-free rate. Both a Roth and traditional IRA have qualifications and limitations, but the main difference between the two is when you receive a tax break. If you expect to have a higher income in retirement than you do now, it makes more sense to open a Roth IRA. As long as you are earning taxable compensation and meet certain income standards, you can begin contributing to a Roth IRA at any age. While you can withdraw contributions tax-free whenever, you usually can't withdraw earnings until you are 59.5 years old and have held an account for 5 years. There are exceptions to this rule, but it is recommended to leave your investments untouched until retirement. As long as you have the extra income to do so, you should contribute as much as you can to your Roth IRA. You can open a Roth IRA through nearly all investment companies, including TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, and Fidelity. Once you decide upon the institution, you'll be able to choose your investments. Take this opportunity to build a diversified portfolio within your Roth IRA. As it is mainly self-directed, you can choose to invest your money into various stocks, bonds, mutual funds, or ETFs. Through the power of compounding, your contributions and investments will have significantly grown by the time you retire. On the right-hand side, a link to an online Roth IRA calculator is provided, and it can be used to estimate how much your contributions will be worth at retirement. And last but not least, the ever-glooming doom of student debt and how to not let it consume you. The fall before your freshman year of college, you should have filled out your FAFSA. This online form allows you to receive eligibility for student loans through the federal government. If you are taking out loans at all, it is crucial that you use this system, as the interest rates offered by the federal government are typically unmatched by any other loan company. The two types of loans offered differ in that subsidized loans have interest paid by the government until 6 months after leaving school, while you are always responsible for the interest of unsubsidized loans. When it comes to student loans, make sure you pay your payments on time every month. The money isn't going to come out of your savings, so make sure to be budgeted into your weekly and monthly expenses as well. Once you begin to make payments, make sure to look into what options are available with your tax returns. Don't let interest accrue over time, and don't let your loans default. Such missed payments would set back your financial freedom by years. As a hypothetical here, Billy just graduated high school and turned 18. In August, he will be starting as a student at University A. He begins a part-time remote job as a customer service representative, making around $200 a week. With this income, Billy opens his Roth IRA, putting in $20 a week. His only expenses once he begins school are his phone bill, which is $100, and eating out at restaurant, which is about $60, which he divides up amongst his weekly paychecks each month. He also sets up recurring investments through Robinhood, adding small amounts each month into stocks and ETFs such as Apple, Vanguard, Sundial, Growers, etc. Billy opened an account with Discover with their student credit card. He has a limit of $500, so he made sure to never have more than $100 on the card at one time, a maximum usage of about 20%. Billy never misses a monthly payment, and every 6 to 8 months requests a credit limit increase of half his current limit. When Billy began his spring semester, he requested his credit increase, his limit to increase to $750 and was approved. Billy uses a personal budget tracker in Excel, which can be downloaded right from the Excel template options. Using a sheet like the ones to the left, he is able to keep track directly of his essential spending. To hold himself accountable to his actual spending, he uses the app Mint to keep all of his accounts in one place, including his checking and savings account, credit card, and student loans. This app also allows him to set goals and remain diligent about saving and spending. The most important ideas to remember from this are as follows. Save first, then spend. Start building your credit now. Invest your income in various ways to mitigate risk. It's never too early to begin your retirement account. And finally, consistency is key when it comes to being debt-free and financially free. As a further breakdown as well, aim to model your spending habits similar to this pie chart. Thank you.
Thank you for watching this video. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel.